I'm Rob Westervelt, editor of IHS Chemical Week, welcoming you to the 2017 IHS Markit World Petrochemical Conference. And I'm delighted to be joined this afternoon by Dave Womack, who is Director of Strategy for IBM for their oil, gas, and chemicals practice.
Hi.
Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rob.
Give us how would you assess the state of industry right now? What are you hearing from your customers, and what's your view on what's going on out there?
Well, I think it's fair to say that the sentiment is bullish. I don't think you could attend this conference, a great conference, by the way, and hear the level of investment and the nature of the conversation around new asset build to fill what seems like sometimes almost an insatiable demand, and not be pretty bullish about that. That on the heels of the advent of multiple $1 billion of investment in our shale business, creating some really attractive feedstocks for the industry. Yeah.
And I'm sure you're interested, or you're getting questions on many issues. Something that seems to be more and more important is the Internet of Things. What are you seeing happening out there, and how would you assess the uptake in the industry, and what should they be aware of?
So as a rule of thumb, I like to talk about technologies and Internet of Things type technologies under a digital umbrella. Yeah. That being said, having been in the industry for 30 years, I'm very cautious about what I call plant-centric vertical integration. I know a lot of the companies that participate in this industry have done a lot of that work. However, if you think about the next turn of the crank and where IoT may play out, it is very much in what I call the horizontal integration dimension, which is down the supply chain, out to customers, and up the supply chain into suppliers as the network of these companies come together. And I do believe there is activity and investment in those spaces to drive a greater visibility and transparency. Yeah.
Okay. And what's going on in enterprise as a service? What's the latest there?
Enterprise as a service is a fascinating conversation around the ability to, if you will, spin up enterprise systems in support of what we see is a fairly robust joint ventures as well as net new assets and M&A activity. So in the old days, it used to be the West going east. Now I think you see some pretty healthy activity sets around east going west, and quite frankly, south going north. If you think about the globe and the chemical industry and how products move, the ability to set up those ventures and spin up enterprise systems so you can get visibility into what's really going on in the enterprise, and doing that as a service quickly, if you will, quick couple assets, is pretty prominent for us. Yeah.
Okay. Also, obviously, given where the U.S. is right now in the capital spending cycle, sure, a lot of interest in smarter capital deployment. And what are you advising customers there? What are you hearing from customers?
Yeah, no, so the whole, and again, a space where we spent quite a bit of time, again, giving the geographic dimensions, as things were spinning up in the LNG phenomenon that occurred maybe 5-6 years ago, a tremendous amount of investment in understanding the interaction between the EPCs and the owner-operators and how to, if you will, fluidly move information, critical design information and operational information in from design, build, operate, and maintain systems. We see that same learning curve effect having quickly been instantiated here in this environment, and continue to be a significant component around productivity, right? And how do you get these assets online quicker, right?
Okay. And what's on the cognitive development? What's IBM's approach there, and what do you call it on the?
So fair question. For us, cognitive systems, and one that we affectionately call, you may have perhaps seen commercials around what we call Watson, Watson technology, the ability for systems to think, learn, understand language, deep learning activities and algorithms to support the operation of the assets. Let me be very specific. As organizations go through change, as these ventures come together, as new assets are constructed, the idea that a firm knows what it knows and being able to leverage that in terms of quality of decision making, in terms of productivity, becomes material. And again, having been in this industry for 30 years and seeing people adopt quite rapidly, as a matter of fact, these cognitive type technologies to help them, if you will, support the insatiable demand for efficiency in the industry, but also the quality of the decisions they're making in what I'd call the going concern. What's tomorrow look like as the industry grapples with the change that it's dealing with?
Okay. And finally, I know you've had a presentation on blockchain at WPC, and give us, where is the industry, do I call it adoption, but in terms of, what are you seeing there as it pertains to the chemical industry?
Fair question. Perspective on that is, it's early. Blockchain is early. I know the viewers here will understand that the financial services industry has spent a little bit of time on this. But if you think about it, and I like to position it in the value chain context, if you think about those dimensions of the value chain where there's a lot of interaction across the interface of the entity of the firm, right? Where are those key suppliers and key partners that if you could knock out interaction inefficiency or friction, as we call it, there's tremendous amount of savings to be achieved. And let me quantify that. The matter of fact of some of the early work that we've done is between 4 and 5% of capital spend. So I listen to the numbers upstairs and I think about $150 billion, and I think about a network of concerned entities coming together and being able to execute against that kind of business opportunity. It becomes quite material. As a matter of fact, material to the income statement and balance sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thanks.